Hello and welcome to episode 176 of the Game Brew podcast, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious bevs and discuss video games. I'm your host, Allison Rum Van Dievender, and I'm joined by Chris Just Beer Rights.
Hi, not Dan.
Thanks, hi. And Gray Whiskey Manstash. On this episode of the Game Brew podcast, we ask the question, gaming and video games. That's not a question, but that's the question.
Beer, you mean alcohol in video games?
Well, is that what I said? No!
Gaming and video games.
Shit! I got the first part so right! I was so proud of me! This is why Dan hosts, guys.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, alcohol in video games. And That's what we're going to go over today. But first, it's time for a bev. Chris, what are we drinking this week?
Well, I'm drinking a Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer that were left over from a party that I had recently. And I bought too many. That always happens.
I was going to say...
Oh no!
At the end, though, do you feel like you have more leftover sausage or leftover beer?
It depends. This year, I don't know. It's a lot of leftover sausage.
More than
to
last
the point
year?
that I feel like I've got like at least 6 pounds of sausage in my freezer right now.
That's
not a bad quantity.
Yeah.
I thought last year was a lot. Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know. Both were a lot. But anyways, yeah, so this is the Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer. It's, your standard fest beer. So a fest beer is generally going to be like a Marzen or a lager. Usually a Marzen is the typical style. And this is one of the 6 breweries. Dan says, I'll give you 6 pounds of sausage. Don't tempt me with a good time. Yeah, so this is one of the 6 breweries from Munich that can have their beer at the Munich Oktoberfest. And it's probably the most famous, Hofbrau. Which I learned recently was the official beer of like the Bavarian kings,
Allison.
which is kind of cool. Oh, now we can't hear Allison at all on our end. That's awesome.
Oh no, that was me. I don't know how we got to the wrong screen on here. I'm trying to find a list, so I had a good list.
Man, you're just really struggling, huh?
I am.
You gotta. You're seeing all of our secrets. All of our secrets.
Dang
Welcome
it!
to the Scuff Brew Crew.
Yeah, right.
Okay, are we back? You can't switch out of the talkie window. Oh yeah, I guess I can't. I didn't think about it.
You forgot the part where he said LOLOL. Laughing out loud. But yeah, so that's what I'm drinking. What are you drinking, Greg?
I am drinking a beer that is rooted in society. That's root beer.
Okay. I was like, where are you going with this? Is it like Bud Light or is it like, nope, it's root beer. Awesome.
It's root beer.
Nice.
I gotta work after this, so unfortunately I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. That sucks.
Root beer was so smart, and I love that you have that.
Yeah, you gotta have a good
I'm sorry. Chuggability extremely high for Oktoberfest beer. That's kind of
yeah. It goes down pretty smooth.
You
can put anything in it.
What
It's a great
alcohol
mixer.
would you mix with rum or with root beer? I'm trying to think.
Ice cream.
But alcohol.
Ooh, Bailey's. Bailey's might be fun.
Bailey's. Yeah,
sure.
It's probably good.
I would do rum. I said rum on accident because it was a Freudian slip because I was thinking about putting rum with it because I feel like the spiced, like rum.
Ooh, vanilla vodka. That's a good one.
Ooh, vanilla vodka also would be very good. That's
basically anything that is
now.
reminiscent of ice cream.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know how many flavored vodkas I've ever enjoyed. I had a bad experience with bacon vodka once.
Ugh. Flavored vodkas are one of those things that like you have in college and then never again.
Yeah.
Because they're bad.
No, I'm sorry. I'm now like lost in thought, and I'm gonna get root beer, and I'm gonna drink something. I'm gonna try a couple different things in the next few podcasts with it, and I'm gonna see like what hits.
Yeah, but what are you having now?
Oh, right now, because we were talking about alcohol in video games, I've got my favorite drink, so everybody knows what that is.
Rum.
Mm-hmm.
Rum and Coke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My standard.
Is it Coke or is it Pepsi?
I hate Pepsi. I think it tastes like liquid postage stamps.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but
those Pepsi flavored postage stamps.
Yeah, anyone else? It's probably just a me thing.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, it's like you lick that back of a postage stamp, and that's the same exact aftertaste I get from Pepsi. So, not a fan, and I never drink Pepsi. I only drink Coke. Carrie agrees with me. See, she should be here to agree with me.
And yet...
And yet.
He's not.
And yet
I also haven't licked the back of a postage stamp in years. Is there stickers now? So.
It's
very true.
It's true, but okay. So that's random. Nobody cares about this. My mom used to have a nonprofit organization for a little bit that she helped with, like basically founded. But it was for my sibling who had a special, unique like childhood illness that grows with you into adulthood, but it's like very rare. So for a lot of my childhood life, I was stuffing letters for this nonprofit and licking the back of stamps and putting it on there. And that was like my job. And I will never forget the taste of postage stamps for that reason. There was after a while, like we upgraded to a wet sponge so I could save my tongue. But yeah.
That's professional.
I will never forget how that tasted because of that. Anyway, random fun fact.
You never have to, because you just gotta, drink some Pepsi and you'll be reminded right away.
I'm spicy and served hot.
Dan, did you just come in to do that? Because that's amazing.
I literally saw Dan come in here and I was like, great, what else did I fuck up that he had to come in here and tell me? Oh my gosh, that was such a troll.
Perfect,
Thanks,
love
Dan.
that.
Thanks,
I'm glad
Dan.
you're feeling good enough to do that.
Yeah. Well, his voice is just gone. He'd be here otherwise, but...
Yeah. Well, he still gives us the snark.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So glad that he was there for that moment. Great. I'm gonna
chuggability
block
of your
him
rum
from
and
this
Coke.
channel. Chuggability. That's the dangerous part, right?
We all like MILFs.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So for me, a rum and Coke is highly chuggable. It is like 100 Allisons chuggable out of 10. And so I don't.
Quite chuggable.
Dang.
Quite chuggable. Like
chuggable.
I love rum and Coke so much. I literally have to pace myself because it is my danger drink, because it is my favorite.
Is it the rum or is it the Coke?
Yes. Like, so when I want a soda, there are only two things I go to. It's either Coke. Well, not true. I also like Dr. Pepper, but it's usually a Coke or a Baja Blast, right? So, I don't drink Coke as much anymore because it's summer, so I had a lot of Baja Blast on hand. But now summer's over, and I'm down to my last case of Baja until next summer. So
I have a couple bottles left here. You'll just have to come get them.
I'll come get them when I'm hard up and Taco Bell isn't doing it because they never have Baja Blast. It's always broken. Anyway,
is that
Allison's about to order?
Is that the equivalent of like the? Is that like the equivalent of how the ice cream machine at McDonald's is always broken?
Yes,
the machine's always broken.
I don't know if you guys experience this or if this is just a regional thing for like the area I'm in, because it's not just my city. It's like surrounding cities. I always have this problem. The Baja Blast machine will always like be out of syrup, or the ratio's off, or they don't have it at all, and they're like, you can have Mountain Dew. I don't know what it is, but that is, for me, that is the flurry machine at McDonald's. But yes, Gray told me about lip balm. Do you guys remember like lip smackers when we were kids and they had like Dr. Pepper flavor and stuff?
Sure.
Now they have Baja Blast, he said, so I'm going to find it and I'm going to have it. So I'll review it when I get it.
You will have it.
I will have it.
It will be mine.
It will be mine. Anyway, so I could chug this and I won't, for the sake of everyone here. And me needing to be able to host. And I can't host sober. I I can't even have a sober. How's this going to work if I get
I'm sure you'd be
smashed?
better if you drank a little more.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone thinks so.
I'm positive.
One way to find out.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And we won't find out today because I'm a responsible adult. Which brings us into our topic.
No.
We got to do gaming
What have we been playing?
Sorry, what have we been playing? Because
this is a video game podcast.
It is a video game podcast, but this time they bleed together, and so it gets confusing. But we'll get back to that.
But yeah, what have you been playing? Anything?
Me, not really. I feel like I'll do mine briefly. I haven't had time to play. There's been a lot of work stuff going on because I have to be out next week for my puppy because my puppy is sick and is having really big crazy shots 2 days in a row next week, so I'm trying to just like adult.
You're not supposed to feed alcohol to your dog.
I know, I didn't.
Giving shots to your dog.
I know I didn't. Not those kinds of shots, not the fun shots. But dude, why are you guys bidding us? You're here, Gray.
As soon as Pep said bits for chugs, I had to join.
Oh no! Okay.
Bits for chugs.
Wait, let me talk about my gaming, and then I'll do the chugs. Okay, I don't even. What does that mean? One chug? That's one chug, right?
100 chugs.
No, that's
one per bit.
That's too much.
One per bit.
Somebody make a standard rule in chat, and we'll discuss it. Okay, so the game I've been playing, I kind of picked up Arceus. Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't finished it. And really, I didn't get super far. And, it wasn't that I wasn't, like, enjoying it the first time. I don't know. It just wasn't what I wanted when I grabbed a Pokemon game, And... I
felt kind of the same way about it. Like I know it's considered, like, the best one or whatever, and, like, the most accurate to, some things, but, like, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, and I'm trying again because I really just wanted like a nice easy game to kind of play while I'm down sitting with the dog, and something I can pick up and put down. Plus LCS is on if any League of Legends fanatics, which is just me, is watching any of that. So I've been watching LCS, and it's something I can watch and like watch plays happening and then do that. This is my Super Bowl, guys, and we aren't even in the like big ones yet. We're in the coming into the finals, but I've been watching it because I don't know. I just want to see where everyone's at, what they're playing, and all of that jazz. So I've been getting back into League of Legends, but I can't decide. I tried to play Arceus again, and I was like, oh, maybe it's been too long since I've played. This doesn't feel good,
Yeah, I'll recommend it again for you. Unicorn Overlord is real good.
Yeah, you're right.
I think you'd really like it.
I'm really just trying to play things that I already have, but maybe I do just need to grab something new. I want to play a spooky game, but that requires a lot of attention, right? So I need something...
Yeah, that's not the relax on the couch with the Switch type of game.
Yes. I need something that's like chill and... No, I need to focus. I need to like... And then I scream, and because it's me. So, yeah, I need that. Silent Hill... Yes. Dan is right. The Silent Hill remake is literally what I will be picking up, but I need something cash. I need something chill. Anyway, so that's where I'm at.
So
I'm going to
anyone
now.
Has any recommendations?
Yeah, give me.
For Allison, please let us know.
Give me some recommendations for games I already have. I'm kidding.
I'll give you recommendations for games you don't have.
I know. I'm gonna chug now, apparently. So you guys talk about the games. What about you, Chris?
So I finished Space Marine 2. Which was great. There's some really cool moments at the end of the game. I don't want to spoil them, but there were just really epic moments. One of them I think was in a pretty popular video that was on the internet for a little bit. But just some really epic moments. It seems like they kind of have it with a cliffhanger at the end. So I don't know if that's going to be a DLC or number 3. And then checking out the PvP and PvE on that's a lot of fun. It's just a really great game. They did a really great job with it. From like everything looks good. The guns feel like they have heft to them, which they should. The like movement feels pretty good. Like you're fast, but also plotting. I don't know. It definitely feels like a love letter to that universe a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a
and
pretty
then
cool game.
yeah, have you been playing it as well?
Yeah, just got into it a little bit. See, I'd more relax with a spooky game like Resident Evil 2 and be more focused on Space Marine.
Really? Oh no,
Oh,
I would
yeah,
be the
100%.
opposite.
That's really funny. Yeah, I would be the opposite. Like, yeah, Space Marine's kind of a chill game for me.
I
But
am.
it's so fun that I'm so focused when it's like that much entertainment going on, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
See, I love spooky games, but they get my adrenaline really going, and I clearly I scream, I jump, like that is just me, and jump scares get me, and so I can't chill during those games. I just can't.
Yeah, I haven't played a spooky game in a while, and I'm good.
No, it's the season.
I know, but
Spooky season.
yeah, they're not my bag.
I'm gonna need you to pick
What?
up my bag because it's the season. Okay.
It's also the achievement for the season for Chivos. I just want to let you know that I got an achievement that 99.5% of players playing this game have not gotten.
That's impressive. What is it called?
It's called By Merit Alone, so you have to promote a unit command. So it's for Hearts of Iron 4. I'm trying to 100% this, which is a large goal for me. But yeah, so it's called By Merit Alone. You can promote basically like a regiment commander or a unit commander to a general. And then max out the level from 1 to 9, which takes a long time. So basically, you have to have him in all like the big fighting that you have for like 10 years.
Nice.
And I did it earlier today, which I was pretty pumped about. I'm sorry, it's 0.8%, so 99.2% of people don't have this achievement that play
Awesome.
this game.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And then I also, while I was doing that, I got one called Sun Tzu Reborn as any Chinese nation have a level 9 field marshal. So a field marshal is like a higher level of general. So, yeah. But anyways, that's what I've been doing. It's really cool, and I'm really cool.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It's fun if you're into that, which I am, but I can understand
That's all
why
that
others
matters.
wouldn't be. What about you, Gray?
I've just been dabbling, really. I haven't sat down and really like focused on a game in a while. I just kind of been taking bits of Zelda, taking bits of Warhammer, taking bits of Silent Hill. I haven't sat down and like really focused on something for a minute.
I imagine you
'Cause it's like-
taking
I
all
feel
this.
like
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say. I imagine you saying that you taking all those bits and putting it in a soup, and it sounds
yeah,
like a
pretty much.
delicious and confusing soup.
I bet it's spicy.
It is very
It's
confusing,
definitely
but it's all
spicy.
for the God Emperor.
Thanks,
That's
Chris.
right.
Thanks. No, which Zelda game did you say?
The new one.
The new
Wisdom.
one? Yeah. What are you thinking of it? The little bits you've played. Sorry if you talked about this last time. I haven't had time to.
No, you're fine.
Just real quick.
I think it's pretty good. It's definitely the remastered Link to the Past, or Link's Awakening or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely that motif, but it's so good. And we did kind of talk about this, but I kind of miss the simplified, clean graphics of back in the day. It's just so clean. Everything's so smooth with it, but it's still fun. It focuses on the story and just messing around, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's I haven't played the new one yet, but I gotta be honest, like I'm not super into like where the series kind of went with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just like, I kind of want a little more direction than what they were giving for those. For my Zelda games, for whatever reason. But
Well, okay, so here's the thing, and this is
That's a hot take for me.
This is going to be a topic for the future, so we're going to put a pin in this, but I'm just going to say it out loud so we don't forget for later. But we really need to discuss like the evolution of gaming and like where we're at now and how it's different from the way the games are in the past, and them taking classic games like that and updating it modernly for a more modern audience, and kind of bringing the popular bits of games right now into those games, and if it's okay or not. I think that could be a whole topic for us, because Breath of the Wild is probably the primest example of that. So we'll put a pin in that thought, but I think it's really good that you brought it up. It sparked a little thing in my brain.
Yeah, I've an unpopular opinion for once from me.
Okay, so just to bring up before we move forward, apparently I was unclear in chat about what I was going to do for these bits if people donated.
You're chugging.
And now I'm chugging the whole glass. So good luck to the rest of the podcast for me hosting. I hand it off to Chris once I can't form words. I guess.
I'll do something with it.
We'll figure it out when we get there. But this is not my fault. It is Gray's fault, who's here, which is weird. He shouldn't.
Way
be
to go, Gray!
To the problem.
Way to go!
I'm just a follower.
And on that, we'll move on from the games we're playing and start talking about the topic, where I will start consuming as soon as you all start talking. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, and that's perfect because it kind of fits with the topic a little bit.
It does. This was the very intended segue that they donated to. Thank you, Pip. Thank you, Gray, for your donation for our segue about drinking.
We got a segue?
We got a segue and video
Hell
games.
yeah.
No chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
Oh man, I do love chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
I wish it was a chimpanzee riding on a Segway. Bam, 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 bam.
Bow, bow.
But here we are. And this is my favorite drinking game. No, thank you. This will be the only time this drinking game exists. But so we're going to discuss just kind of generally, which is something that I'm kind of shocked we didn't discuss before.
I feel like we might have, but if we have, it's been a long time.
It's either been a long time. I know we've discussed like holidays in gaming, and we kind of touched on it with some of the holidays that they had, but I don't know that we fully dove into this. So apologies if this is a repeat for our listeners, but I'm sure we're going to have completely different
opinions. If we forgot it, you probably did too. So.
Exactly.
I didn't want to say anything. It was actually episode 53.
53. Ah, Gray! Gray with the facts!
It would be pretty funny if it actually was.
No, I don't.
Oh, shit! I was about to be like, okay, Grave is officially our archivist, and he will forever be here just to remind us if we've done something, if that was true. Okay.
Actually.
Actually. Okay.
I do love me some actually, though.
It's true. It's a good show. I'm glad you turned me on to Dropout TV. Anyway.
That's fantastic.
Fake points for Gray. It wasn't true, Carrie. So we're going to hit some questions here and just kind of discuss drinking and gaming. It's something that like a lot of games have really integrated into maybe the system in general. Some games just make it an option. Some games make it fun. Some games make you have health or buffs because you're drinking. So we really just want to hit general bits and pieces of this, and I will start with a very broad question of what are your favorite experiences or least favorite experiences with drinking integrated into gaming?
So the first thing that comes to mind is for me is for playing Fable, the first one. You could drink beer and then like your character would get inebriated, you'd like kind of fall over, and if you drank too much you'd throw up. But I found out pretty quickly that if you just keep drinking, you can't do the throw up animation. So like I kind of like went around for like a couple in-game days and just went to like every vendor that had it. And I was doing this with my buddy Tyler. He was like over. We were together doing this for whatever reason because we thought it was funny. But we went to every vendor and collected as many of the beers that they had. And so accumulated about like 130 beers, and then we just decided to drink all of them. And that's how I learned that you can't throw up if you don't stop drinking. And so I took that to heart, and it made me the man I am today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
How specifically did it make it the man you are today? I just want to.
If you can't throw up, you don't stop drinking.
Can I ask how that's worked in your life?
No.
Because that has not been my personal experience.
No.
No, I really liked drinking in Fable. I don't know.
I thought it just like, especially early on, it felt like it was a cool it was cool that you could do it and like there was an effect. It didn't really add anything to the game. It was more just kind of a funny thing you could do. But like I feel like it was like in my head it was one of the first times I remember being able to drink in a video game.
Yeah, no. I think you're right. And there's something about Fable. Something Fable does right that a lot of games just can't quite touch. And that's the like silliness of Fable and the silliness of everything it does. You're not taking anything seriously. It's just like pure joy. The whole game is pure joy.
Even when you're evil, it's kind of funny and cute. Like
like
like one of the most evil things you could do is eat a baby chicken.
Yeah, that is definitely something. And
Little chicky nug.
Yeah,
I can't remember, they were like crunchy baby chicks or something is what they were called.
They were
and
crunchy or crispy baby chicks. Yeah,
and like you would get like minus 10 or 10 bad points basically if you ate them, so you could just again buy them from stores and just eat a bunch of them, and then you could go from being like angelic and like super good to bad very quickly.
Right. It was like so beer was included in the first Fable, and the drunkenness effect obviously gave you vomiting, as Chris said, and like there was even an achievement for it, which was funny. Like I
played it before achievements were a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Actually, I guess I did too.
Because it was on the original Xbox.
It was on the original Xbox, but I remember later getting an achievement. But I think here's the thing: I played Fable a few times, and like later after it was like re-released, I played it, and the drinks had like ranks on quality. I remember.
Oh yeah.
Which was cool. Some of them gave you like XP if you drank it. Like there were extra added benefits and like healing benefits, and then in the later games, like it reflected on your like weight and things like that. I just think like Fable was like Skyrim but funny. That's how I always think about Fable.
And earlier.
Yeah, and earlier. But, like, when you think about Skyrim, like, it's so serious. And then you think about Fable, and it's like the goofy cousin.
Skyrim's not too serious.
It's not too serious,
like, there's a lot of goofy shit that happens in Skyrim.
That's fair, but, like, all of Fable is goofy, in my opinion.
That's true.
Okay. So it's just, like, I don't know. Fable has a special place in my heart, and it's a really fun game. And it was one of the first ones I thought about when I was thinking of drinking. Because it really did, it implemented a bunch of different things. Like, was it all useless? Not necessarily because of those, like, XP drinks, because there would be special drinks and like the health ones, but most of it was just, can you vomit after X drinks? I don't know. It was really fun. What about you, Gray? What were you thinking?
I mean, most of my experience with alcohol and gaming are based in the real world.
Sure, yeah. I thought that would be a good topic too on this.
So I don't know if I played too many games where drinking thing. I think the only time I ever did anything like drinking something related was in Red Dead with the hair tonic potions.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that like
100 tonic potions, he turns into a Wookiee, and then all of his hair falls out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was just never something. I guess when I was younger, I didn't get a chance to play games like that had the ability to do that. I was more into Zelda and like Call of Duty and stuff. So I really didn't get into computer games either. So
Well, I mean, they kind of it kind of related. They have the zombie stuff. They have like the drinks that you drink. Like Juggernog.
The pack of the Juggernauts and stuff.
Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, it's sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying all I'm hearing, Gray, is we need to get you into playing with us more.
Yes,
I feel like a lot of the games we have alcohol like adjacent things, like in Deep Rock Galactic. We have that cute little bar that you can drink at.
Like the buff drink. Yeah, it's like you can get a pretty big buff from the drinks in there, and it's something that like when I first played the game, I don't know if it just wasn't there or I just wasn't aware of it or I wasn't good enough to use it yet. But like I remember like the first time I played with Ian and like he went over and was like, "Yeah, drink this," and I was like, "Wait, what does it do?" And he's like, "Yeah, it gives you all these stats," and I was like, "Oh, it's funny though that like."
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is like it's not necessarily an obvious part of the game. It's just kind of like it's there. Over in the corner is that bar, right? The station's bar. And when I was playing with you guys, like I didn't know how anything worked, but
you tell me to do things and I'll do them.
Yeah, like I was coming in hot on the 24-hour stream with we'll figure it out. I found out about it later, and I thought that was really neat. That like you can unlock different buffs with the different drinks and things like that. So like low level, I remember we went over there and like we're drinking and it didn't do anything, but I guess it has things that can affect you later. I thought that was really cool. I thought like lore wise, the fact that you're a bunch of dwarves, right, mining makes sense to me that would be an option. So I thought that was really cool that was kind of added to the game. But my favorite drinking in a game is always going to be World of Warcraft. And I always talk about World of Warcraft like it's the one that got away. And I don't mean to.
I mean, but like, it was for you.
But like, yeah. It's because like, WoW always has a special place in my heart. And I will always talk about it on this podcast. And I'm sorry everyone who has to deal with it. We might need to make it that thing like we did for the other games where we can't talk about it anymore. Everyone can decide if they don't want me to talk about WoW anymore. But World of Warcraft just held so much of my life. And Chad's talking about playing again. That's a poor choice.
Oh,
and here's
no.
the thing. I know WoW isn't what it was. And every time I want to go play it again, like they've released a lot of new stuff right now.
Yeah,
and
there's a new thing out, a new expansion.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're done. You guys won.
Another.
No, I can't. I'm doing the podcast.
Again.
Cantor won't.
I can't. I'm doing the podcast. I can't go make one.
Again.
B.
He can't. He's not here. So, for sure, when I think about WoW, I always think about the good times, and I'm like, oh, I want to go back. Oh, I really just miss it. I miss these things. But every time I go back, it's not what it was for me.
Yeah.
And let me be clear, everyone who's listening, if you all will play World of Warcraft with me and we can make our own guild, I will do it. And here is why.
Allison, we've done this before, and I got mad the last time we did this.
Uh-oh.
I can't help that.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, the rule was, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we did it, and then I ended up being the only person left logging on.
Correct.
And I was
but that's the thing, like you need
pretty annoyed about that.
you need that magic, that like camaraderie, that group that you want to play with. And that's why I did Ragnarok for as long as I did. And if I had that, I would have stayed, like I stayed with Ragnarok too long, right? We all know this. Ragnarok Online was not the game to play because it was all pay to win. But really, Everything, Carrie. Everything is wrong with me. But that is what I want.
You can fix it. You can fix it.
Everything that MMO RPG is what I want. Like, I want that family feeling. I want that camaraderie. I want that group that I'm going to play with people I enjoy. And I did have a lot of that I found after a while in Ragnarok Online, right? We got some really good people, and they were some awesome players, and I loved playing with them. And I don't know, I miss MMOs. I keep searching in MMOs for that spark, for that special thing. And WoW isn't it, but it's always it for me. So, back to the topic, sorry.
And this has to deal with alcohol because
in World of Warcraft, all the vendors in Azeroth, they sell different kinds of varieties of alcohol. If you drink, it can cause a range of effects. Like, it made your camera get all wonky.
Yeah, I always liked when you put press W to move straight forward, it would not go straight.
Yes, which is what alcohol should do at a certain point in a game. Like, I get that they don't want to do the negative effects thing with it, but it should, because that's real. And I loved that it did that, and I loved that you didn't really know it was doing that at first. Like, the first time somebody told me, like, you're not walking straight, I was like, oh. I remember, like, just drinking a ton, vomiting, and then my screen being wonky, and I thought that was the only consequence, right?
Like, you thought that was only for you.
Yeah, I thought it was only for me. I didn't know I was affecting my movement. I didn't know that other people could tell, like, you're kind of walking weird.
No, if other people could tell I was wasted.
Right. And not only that, but the drunk players, like, the text looks slurred.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious and an amazing effect of drinking too much in the game. That was funny. I thought, it was only slurred for me. When I found out that's actually how I was talking in World, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, because, like, what people were saying to you was a little messed up, but then also,
yes.
like, your typing, yeah.
My typing was sloshed in chats. And it's not like it explained it. It was just like I would type things weird, and everyone would read it that way. Enemies, like, you walked past, you would think they were weaker.
The levels would be different.
The levels
or stronger.
would be different, because you have this new confidence that's unearned, and you've drank, and you think you can fight that. Like, I thought that stuff was really funny. And then once monks came out, they had, like, Brewmaster
monks, yeah.
So you could, like, brew things, and you get different skills and powers, but I never did that, so I don't have a lot of knowledge.
But, like, you weren't actually drunk, though, were you? Like, you were just called a brewmaster.
In the monk class?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Right.
You can make drinks and stuff. I don't know, because I never played it. If anyone in the chat did, feel free to correct me. But I don't think, as a brewmaster, you got so many negative effects from the alcohol you personally brewed. Because it gave you, like, buffs and defensive stats and things like that. It wasn't negatives at that point, because you were a master of drunkenness. Which I think is amazing.
You're a drunken master. There's a legend about it.
Exactly. So, with that, I think you... Carrie said there was a dungeon that got your characters drunk during a fight. Yes, in Mists of Pandaria. So when the Brewmaster class released...
was it the dungeon that was in a brewery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to get drunk in order to complete parts of it and things like that. And, like, I love all of that. I think that was a, like, clever way, a fun way, and a right way to incorporate alcohol in a video game, because it had negative effects, which alcohol does. Drink responsibly, chat.
Don't be like us.
Don't be like us. Don't chug your drink for...
Sorry, don't be like me and Allison. Great,
for 400 bits or whatever it was.
You keep going back to it like there's more, and there's not.
There was
Allison.
a little sip. I felt bad because it was in the bottom. Okay. And, so, like...
Cup smells like it.
So we definitely, like, I don't need more. We definitely like I love the way it integrated it in a positive and negative way, because we all know that's how alcohol is.
It'd be like that.
See, I thought the reason why you were comparing WoW to alcohol was because you need to be in a meeting to not play it anymore.
I do snap the rubber band. Tell Chad to snap his rubber band about wanting to play again, Carrie. Here it is. We're good. I'm not going to play again. But, yeah, I do. I miss MMOs. I miss that camaraderie. And I had it in old WoW. But, like, it's so hard to find again. Because you need... Yeah. You need that, like, team to feel like WoW is worth it. I don't know. Anyway,
no, I agree with you 100%. That's a lot of reason why I got away from Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just went downhill, and I mean, you know, the whole spiel about them trying to make more and more money off of it, but it's just, if you don't have that group of people that you can constantly game with, it's really hard to get through that game and enjoy it.
Yeah. Just a lot of those games need that. And I mean, I think that's part of the alcohol in gaming is like the social aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drinking is kind of a social thing. And for me, that's why gaming, a lot of times I'll game and have a nice drink. They're both like really social things for me, and combining them together is nice. I used to, like, when I was like gaming alone, sad. When I was gaming alone, I would drink. But it's like when I game in Call of Duty. Oh my gosh, Call of Duty was bad. I know drinking isn't a part of Call of Duty, but I would drink while I played Call of Duty.
But for you, it was.
100%.
It was, because that was in my like 21s, you know. So I was playing a lot of Call of Duty, and I was drinking all night, and I was playing Call of Duty because then I could trash talk. Like, I felt more comfortable being social, and just like, that was a game where it's like the mic's on, everybody's talking, and as the night went on,
you're
like,
camping.
Yeah, like I'd give it back twice as hard. Somebody'd tell me to go to a kitchen, make him a sandwich, and I'd tell him I'd make him a sandwich of them because I just killed them. You know, like, those kinds of things would happen as the night progressed, and I'd feel more confident in what I was saying as the night progressed. So I think that's something, like, do you guys relate gaming to drinking with you? Like I do, like, on weekends when I play video games, I have a drink, or?
Yeah, definitely. Probably to my detriment, but yeah, it's definitely part of like my, especially weekend ritual of like, if I've got a free weekend or like a free Friday night, and like me and a couple friends are playing stuff, or like I sometimes like to do stuff to like make Allison's not even listening. She doesn't care.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just handed a drink. I don't know what happened.
Sometimes for like release nights of games, like for Cyberpunk 2077, me and Tyler, my buddy, we made like a special drink. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was one of the drinks in Cyberpunk 2077 that you could get at the bar. It was.
Let me find. I never played Cyberpunk.
Oh, it was great. It was whatever the it was a drink that your friend in the game, Jackie Wells, used to order.
Tried to Google for you, but I have too many options.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly
the
what
David
what was
Martinez, the Jackie Wells, the Johnny Silverhand, Calvera Feliz. Are any of these helpful? Paul Knight.
Nope, sure isn't.
There are so many drinks in this game.
Anyways,
okay.
They were. We made a couple of those drinks for like the release night, and it was kind of a fun thing to do, to kind of like feel like we were into it, and like, I don't know, I like doing that.
Yeah, it's fun. Most of my drinking with video games was kind of like what Allison was saying, like back in the day when we would do LAN parties, and I would drag a huge, not flat screen TV up flights of steps to my buddy's place, and we would have like whiskey and what was it? Whiskey and rye and stuff, and just go to town on some Call of Duty.
Nice.
Mine was rum, but that's pretty obvious, isn't it? But yeah.
Kids today will never understand the struggle of the LAN party.
They won't.
It's just 100%.
Yeah, no, that was like, I don't know, lugging your whole computer, bringing your monitor, your power.
I still do that.
I love it. Yeah, we still have LAN parties.
Like,
yeah.
Again, like with like some of those opening or first night things, I have gotten like a couple buddies together. We'll like go to someone's house and do that, make it an event, you know. Since they don't have them at GameStop anymore, we got to make our own.
It's so true. Like, online gaming has spoiled children. I don't know.
These kids don't know how easy it is
To make friends and be online with people.
Yeah.
No,
easy.
It is.
compared to
It is
LAN
so
parties.
easy. It is so easy, and I'm very fortunate for it because I get to play with like you guys. You know, because realistically we couldn't, and I'm so thankful for it. So I'm gonna get off my like old person get off my lawn moment just to say that, and then I'm gonna get right back on it and say kids have it way too easy because we had
Don't
to
move that fast.
Yeah, we had to find.
Might break a hip.
We had to find friends in our area who liked the things we liked, which was very rare for me. So I grew up in a very rural town. But yes, I miss LAN parties too. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree with
I've always wanted to have one, like a really big one.
Yes. No, we
That'd be
should
cool.
do that. We'll plan. We'll bring Dan.
I mean, I've always wanted to do the stream as kind of like a
In
LAN
person?
party.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, the 24
Ray, you're
hour.
invited.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so let's talk about things we haven't really talked about yet. Is there any like bad implementation? Ooh, yeah, that chug really got me there. Can someone say that word for me?
Implementation.
Thank you, Chris.
There you go.
Are there any bad of that in video games that you guys can think of?
I mean,
They do it pretty well in video games, considering the negative connotations of drinking. So I can't really think of anything that's like super bad, other than like the stuff like it's gonna happen. So I don't know if it's considered bad whenever oh, if I do this, I won't be able to walk straight, so on and so forth. It's more people do it to experience that thing. So I don't know if there's anything that's really bad in my opinion.
So and it's a hard balance to make, but like there are often times in video games where like it'll be like a buff thing, like where like there'll be a buff but also like a debuff that are associated with it. And then when that happens, like that means that I just won't end up using it because there are other foods other foods or drinks that I can do that will give me a buff but won't have a debuff. So like that kind of just makes it so it's kind of worthless. And that kind of maybe that's true. Maybe it's worthless and I should stop.
I had trouble thinking of this, and the reason I kind of added this question, I guess, to our discussion was I think back to like the 90s, right, when there were all the like alcohol is bad and video games are bad, and they also promote alcoholism because they have alcohol in their games and this and that and smoking and all that, right? And if you see alcohol use in a game, you want to drink alcohol. And if you see smoking in a game, you want to smoke, right? That's kind of the whole idea that was big in the 90s, at least, for propaganda about those things. So I added this to kind of think if you had ever felt anything was negative in games. I mean, for me, when I was playing games when I was young, there was never like the use of drinking that ever made me think I want to drink. But I also was kind of like a weird kid, maybe, I don't know. like when I was growing up, I was very, I know, shocking. I was a weird kid. I saw your face, Gray.
You're all weird kids. It's fine.
Yeah. I was actually like a weirdly responsible child who was like, I am my parents' responsibility until I'm 18. And so I will be like legally a perfect child until I'm 18, and then I will make my own choices. That was kind of like the decision I had made. I never drank. I never did anything until I was 18. And then I hit 18 and I was like, now responsibility is mine and I'm going to drink everything. And then I went off the rail. But for
now
me,
responsibility is mine.
Yeah, that was exactly how I said it then too. But when I knew I was my own, like, I wasn't going to impact my parents by my decisions. I made my bad choices then. So I didn't drink until then. So I was never influenced by media in any way to drink, but I thought I'd kind of throw this in there to see if that felt that way to you guys.
I mean, it wasn't video games that made me have my first drink, for sure.
Yeah,
like, that wasn't
right.
the reason
Yeah.
that I was like, I want to drink alcohol.
Yeah. Okay. Same.
I always considered it a mechanic more than a
Yeah.
I can do this in real life type of thing.
Yeah.
Anytime I came across some sort of potion drinking or some sort of tonic or whatever in games, it was like, oh, this is fun to do in the game. I can clearly have a disconnect between the two.
Well, yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Well, no, because like having alcohol in a video game is directly related to the rating that the video game gets, which Carrie brought up, and I'm so glad she did, because I meant to mention it, but again, host has been required to chug, so we're here now. And yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up, is like, I don't feel like that should be, I'm struggling with it. I'm not sure if I feel like that should be related to the rating a game gets.
But it should. Like, I think it should.
Do you think World of Warcraft alcohol means that kids under 18 shouldn't play World of Warcraft? Or kids under 21?
I don't think that's the reason that people shouldn't.
No. Okay.
Children shouldn't play World of Warcraft.
No.
There are many other reasons why I think that they should.
Okay. Sorry. Let me rephrase my question correctly. World of Warcraft should not be played by people who are under 21 because it involves drinking.
But that's not what the rating system says.
I know, but like,
yeah.
I guess that's what I'm thinking about. I don't think it influences anyone to drink.
Okay.
And I don't know why the rating system is just because alcohol exists. Like, children know that their parents can drink, I would hope. And they know that they should not drink. And do you feel like that being in a video game when an adult is drinking, and that is okay for the adult to drink, but it's not okay for children to drink, do you think drinking solely, no other activity, just drinking, should influence an ESRB rating?
I think it depends on how it's implemented.
World of Warcraft.
I think so. I mean, it's just my opinion is I think it should be influenced rating, but also in my opinion, it should be up to the parent of that child whether or not they think they are able to handle something like that.
Well, and that's the whole crux behind the system. So, with that in mind, then yeah, it should be there because it's up to the adult, the parent to make the decision.
Right.
That's interesting. I don't feel like it should. I don't know. I think I'm probably...
You're probably drunk right now, and...
I am, baby! But also, like, I had this opinion earlier. So, for me...
You're probably drinking.
When I'm thinking about this, I guess I would hope a child has already had a discussion with a parent about alcohol and what it is, what it isn't, and what's good and what's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think those conversations should start young enough that a 13-year-old could play a video game.
Sure.
That has alcohol in it with the understanding what it is and what it isn't.
But with the rating system being how it is, that means that then it's up to the parent and not up to the child to make the decision.
Well, I mean...
the only reason I think it should be part of it is so that parents know that it is in the game so they can make that decision.
Yep.
Like, if it was just kids, no age rate, it doesn't matter. 'Cause I like I said before, drinking is a mechanic. I don't really think it's something that's going to influence me to drink or smoke or do anything like that when I'm playing a video game. But if it's in relevance to whether or not a child should play it depending on age and maturity, then I think it should be in there so the parents can make a better decision for that.
And I think Carrie kind of touched on this, I just realized in chat, and that's kind of how I feel. So in World of Warcraft, I don't think it needs to be noted as much and something that reflects on the ESRB. But in a game like maybe Max Payne, let's say Max Payne didn't involve other things, right? And it was just drinking and alcohol abuse. That is different. And that is like trauma, addiction. There are other things involved there. And if that is involved and that is a theme, then yes, it should be an ERB? ESRB. ESRB rating. And if it's just like it is in World of Warcraft, then I don't think it needs to be there. And that's kind of my opinion, is like, I think there are other factors that really come into this other than just alcohol existing. I think alcohol exists in the life of children. I think alcohol is a part of our world. And I think it's on the parent to have that conversation with the child at a certain point. And any child above 13 can handle a game that has alcohol in it, as long as it's not being abused or is a part of an addiction or like a trauma cycle or something like that. That's my opinion. And then as long as those conversations are had by the parents, which is what a responsible parent does, in my opinion, then those can exist in games for the adult character who is playing in those games. But that's just my hot take, I guess. And then outside of that, yes, I do think it should. I think it should be something that's handled differently, I guess, with the ESRB rating. I think back to when I was a child and could I play World of Warcraft? I guess is where I'm looking at this from, that lens. My parent couldn't have come with me to purchase that game. And again, I have a different experience probably from a lot of people, but I was the person in the household who drove at 16. And no one could come with me for anything. So there would be a lot of games that would be out of my reach at this point if they were really something that was impacted by a stiff rating just due to alcohol, when it wasn't really something that...
Or if they were on a really high shelf.
Or, if, modernly, if they were on a really high shelf and there was no step ladder, I couldn't get to them. Carrie says, replace the word alcohol with heroin. Do you feel the same? I don't. You guys can weigh in on this, but my opinion is...
Instead with heroin?
Heroin is not legal. Alcohol is legal, and I do think they are different. And I do think heroin is something that you can be addicted to, but again, that's where...
so is alcohol.
Right, and that's why I'm saying dealing in a game with a character who has alcohol addiction is different than dealing with a character when there's alcohol in a room. And I guess that's my deciding factor of, like, children can play a game where there's alcohol, but if there's a theme of addiction and there's a theme of these things, then it needs to be different. And or maybe mildly marijuana, since it's legal in several states. I wouldn't have a problem with marijuana in a game, personally.
Now, is that in your opinion, going off of that, is it more of while drinking or other uses of different things can be made into the status of, where the game lies, isn't it just the trauma making it a more severe rating in that sense?
The trauma or like the theme of the characters drinking every day.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't think necessarily drinking should be so high, like, oh, now it's rated mature because of drinking.
Right.
But if it's like drinking and then right below that is alcoholic abusive trauma, then yes, I think it would be like higher up on that scale.
I think so, but like the way alcohol was used in World of Warcraft, I do not find that should be limited and something like a 14-year-old can't play. You know what I mean? Like 14, 15-year-old. That's how old was I when WoW came out?
But like it's I mean, they're there for a reason, and you have to draw a line somewhere. And
yeah, that's my question.
Otherwise it just I mean, I guess my line is like, if it's there, then it has to be there has to be a warning. Like the ESRB isn't like to me. It's more of like, hey, parents, this game has this.
Sure. Right. Okay, so there's a warning, or only 18-year-olds can play it, and there's a warning. So what? I guess that's the line I'm asking for. So for me, like, this is 13 plus, and alcohol usage underneath.
Yeah, this would be.
What is that for you?
PG-13. Mm-hmm. It would be PG-13 for me.
That's what it is for me.
Drinking in that sense. But yeah, I agree with Chris where it's like you just got to find out where that line is. Additionally, whenever they make these rules, it's for the generalization, not the specific.
And like, so yes, I understand. Like in your particular instance, like yes, you wouldn't have been able to play the game, but like, and you were able to handle it. But like, there are other people that might not be able to handle it, and like each person is different, and like I feel like just because you were able to do something doesn't mean that everyone is able to do it. And I think that, but like, the guardrails are there for a reason. When I was younger, I thought they were dumb, but like as I've gotten older, like I'm like, okay, well that makes a little more sense now to me. And I don't know.
Well, I guess that's where I was trying to decide, because I thought you guys meant like a 13-year-old shouldn't be able to play it, but you're all saying it's like PG-13, if you will. So I could have bought that game. Yes?
It's more of a, your parent needs to make the decision for you because you're not really able to make that decision for yourself as a 13-year-old.
So you're saying at 13 you shouldn't be able to play WoW unless your parent buys it for you and hands it to you?
Yes, absolutely. Especially because how are you going to pay for that monthly subscription?
Well, that's something to be determined. But that's what I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean,
there's a game on a shelf. Does it need the 18 plus, so a parent has to buy it for you? That's my question, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. For me, yes.
For me, no. Gray?
See, again, it's just really hard.
It is hard. We ask the hard questions. We are known for that.
We'll get really into the nitty gritty here.
Our hard hitting journalism.
Yes,
that's right. I think in the sense of WoW, there's other things in that game that I wouldn't necessarily want my 13-year-old to play. Like the drinking might be one of them, but if anything, given my experience, that just shows them kind of what drinking is. But it's like it's other things in that game, like the money and like so on and so forth, that would make me want it to be something I'd have to give them.
And the general interactions with people.
Would you want them?
Exactly.
Would you want Roblox to be 18 plus for purchase?
The way it is now, yes.
I mean, yeah. Dan has opinions.
Sorry, just jumping in real quick here.
Sorry, buddy.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the ESRB ratings, if you go to the ESRB website,
they're very vague.
No, they're actually more specific in the same way that movies are, where it has T for teen, World of Warcraft, the rating summary in it says specifically, certain quests require the player to drink alcohol, resulting in the character's impaired vision, blurry screen, pink elephants, and movement. That's just, it's the same way that movies have the, have the descriptors where
PG,
it's like,
PG-13, etc.
or it's rated R, and then it says, brief nudity,
Right.
violence,
Yeah.
use of illicit substances, etc., etc.
Right.
The ESRB ratings are on here. It's just whenever you see, they can't put everything on the thing. That's it.
Right.
I just
Right.
wanted
Which
to
is
make sure.
which it's currently T for teen, which means, in my opinion, related 13-year-olds could purchase it without an adult.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Which is how I feel it should be, but that's why I was
All right,
asking. how
I thought
guys
you were
feel it
implying
should
that
be.
it was mature, so that's my bad.
Oh no! I was asking what you would make it.
Oh. Sorry, I thought it was already rated M, so
No,
never mind.
no. It is not. It is T for teen.
Oh no, yeah, no, it does say blood and gore, crude humor, mild language, suggestive themes, use of alcohol, violence.
Mm-hmm.
So it has all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Thanks, Dan.
this is your
Thanks, Ghost Dan.
this is your sick ghost Dan fact finder out.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, no, that's what it is now, and I feel like that's right. I was just asking, like, because it has
Gotcha, I
alcohol
apologize.
involved. No, you're good. Because it has alcohol
You're right, Allison.
involved.
You're right. Okay.
That's my favorite statement.
You win.
Someone clip that. Can we clip that and use that a
No.
lot?
No,
No, I can be flipped.
but to wrap up, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are some interesting ways that alcohol's been used. I feel like there's like some ways that we just I don't know what they would be. I think that there's some more exploration, but also like it's tough because you also don't want to glorify it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting.
I think a lot of it's based on society as well. I mean, if you think about it, if there was some sort of game or something that had, alcohol or smoking or something back in like the 1920s, there was like 8-year-olds taking shots of whiskey and smoking
Right.
cigarettes getting put down chimneys
Very true.
in Europe. Like, so
Still are.
it's just, yeah, it's just one of those things where I think a lot of it's based off society and like also relative understanding and responsibility of younger generation. So I think it's something that's ever evolving, though never evolving at the correct speed. That's for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's definitely it. Like, for me, and I guess, again, that's me just kind of taking it in a different way. I don't think people should be negatively viewed for having a drink on the weekend. And I think it's, like, engaging a negative stereotype to say alcohol existing at all in someone's life is negative. I think it can be, like, drink responsibly, everybody in the chat. As a responsible adult, I can decide when it's a good time for me to drink or not a good time for me to drink. And I do that, and I think that's okay for me as an adult. And if children are around and I've had a conversation with them about what's okay, what's not okay, and what is good for you and what's not good for you, and occasionally it's okay to do this, and when you're an adult it's okay to do this, not when you're this age, because you can't make these decisions. Like, having those conversations is like on the adults in the room, not on a video game in the room. And for me, it's okay to have those games in a child's life, to know these are things that happen, they're going to be around you, and this is when it's okay, this is when it's not okay. And so for me, those games are okay, but that's kind of my take. I know we've been talking about this for a while, but I really want to hit before we end. Chris, talk about the Heroes of Barcadia game and how amazing it is.
Before we do that, I have to pee really bad, and I thought we were about
my
to end, so I'm
gosh.
gonna go pee real quick.
You're the worst.
We do need to
Maybe
end
we
in,
don't
like,
talk
10
about it.
minutes,
Yeah,
so.
maybe we don't talk about it then, and we
Really
just
sorry.
save it. Wow. Thanks, Chris.
So I was like, we need.
I'm kidding.
It's
Okay,
like, oh, yes,
fine.
yes.
Guys, the Hero of Barcadia is a cool tabletop game
It's a
that
fun
involves
tabletop
drinking.
game. We'll talk about it next time. I'm really
We'll talk
sorry.
about it next time. Anyway, play it if you haven't. It's a little expensive, but it's very cool. So, with that said, we're going to end the podcast.
Because Chris has to pee.
Because Chris has to pee.
Yeah.
So any final burning questions you have, please let us know in our Discord. You can find us on bit.ly/discobrew. bit.ly/discobrew, one word. And that's the best way to get in touch with us and just chat and goof and gab. If you want to find us on your favorite podcasting app, please do so. We are out there on pretty much everything, I think, at this point. Even YouTube, if you want to find us there, we upload there without video. If you want to see our beautiful faces, like Chris and Gray's right now. Super beautiful.
And Allison.
Oh, I'm here. We'll just go with that. You can watch us on twitch.tv/thegamebrew. And we do basically every other Sunday, 10:13 right now. That is what we're doing. So hopefully in 2 weeks we do another. But feel free to join us here. We love interacting with you guys in chat. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things. So hopefully I'm not lying for you guys. But but please join us, hang out, and just chat there. Is there anything you would like to promote, Gray?
Not at this moment, maybe in the near future, but I do hope Ghost Dan feels better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We all hope Ghost Dan and Ghost Carrie feel better.
Both his throat and his feet.
Yes, all of his things. And Chris, do you have anything you'd like to promote or talk about before we let you pee?
Nope.
And I am streaming soon on twitch.tv/thevinalia if you want to follow me. VINALIA. I heart you guys. It's been great. And what we do when we end is say good night.
Bye,
everybody.